All right, y'all, let's set up this Trauma X lab.
I know how to go and get a bag on her. I know how to get a bitch mad on her. Make my ex wanna get it back. That's a fact. Say it louder for the bitches in the back. Hey, bagging it up. I'm the queen of talking shit, then I'm backing it up. Yeah, backing it up. Throw that money over here, nigga. That's what it's for. Said I was getting some head, getting some head. Ran down on a bitch, she almost pissed on her leg. Bitches think they fucking with me, must be sick in the head. Why don't you chill with the beef and get some chicken instead? Got the ground, shut it down, had it hype up in the six. If she dead, let her lay, won't bring no life into this bitch. Again, this girl should be a sin, you should call me Cinnamon. Cardi B, bad bitch, those is fucking synonyms. We see who winning, we see who got it. You see I'm still in the bank, making deposits. You see who switched up sides and who was solid. You see who stuck to the code and who forgot it. Talk about it, bitch.
So right here, I am putting my laps as well as my light handles on the table. And this is just something preliminary that we do while we are setting up. It makes counting purposes easier, and I will do a video on that later. Right now, I'm just organizing my table. I like all of my things to the left or that we're going to use, I like them to the left. And then I like my actual things that I'm going to use during the case to the right. You want all of your stuff closest to you that you need immediately. Towels is not something that we generally use unless we're draping the patient, which is why they are going down there by my drapes. And then I'm putting the drape to the end, getting the remaining of the towels, putting my gloves in between that, getting the trash off my table because your girl hates trash. And then here, those are body covers, 3/4 drape sheets, whatever you want to call them. We normally don't use those with that type of laparotomy drape. And here, I'm just getting the things out of my bowl, sitting my Raytex up there for counting, sitting my swedges and my silk ties up there, getting my needle holder. Now, me taping it down to the table is not something that I personally do because I'm very versatile and I like to move it. I couldn't even figure out how I wanted it right here, which is why it's so funny. And I'm getting my Bovie tip, and I put my Bovie tip in my needle holder because it's technically like a knife, and it makes counting easier, especially when you're looking for something in a trauma case because things can get pretty hectic pretty fast. And here I'm taking my large bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and place all of my laps in there, as well as my light handles, putting them inside of each other so that way I can just hand them to the surgeons while I'm doing other things like getting myself together. That was the third light handle. We have 3 OR lights in our ORs. Now I'm just getting my suction out of the way, putting my suture on top of my suction, aligning those silk ties to deal with those later. Here's a little trash bag that comes. I barely put trash in there because I hate trash and it's just a pet peeve of mine, but it's a nice decoration. That's me throwing trash away. So here I'm just putting my stickers under my needle holder, putting my Bovie on my Mayo. I couldn't think of the name of that thing earlier. It's an asepto. Put my asepto in my bowl as well as my Yankar suction. What are these in my hand right now? Those are blades. Now, our packs normally come with 2 or 3. For some reason, they have put 5 in there, but you only need a 10 and a 15. I put the hypo in the needle counter. I put my Bovie pad on top of that red pad, and it never comes off of my field. That's how I keep up with it. You can put that scratch pad wherever you want to, but it is in countable items, so just know where you put that. And this is me just getting my little bowl together. I put my skin marker and other miscellaneous things in there. I put my stapler in that back bowl. Now I am getting my lap retractor tray. I give my count sheet to my nurse. And after we count this, the only 2 instruments that we use out of this are our body wall retractors. So I like to go ahead and put a blue towel in there. And as you can see, I was about to put the unnecessary instruments in there, but we hadn't counted yet. So yeah, that's me just putting the Devers and the Balfour and its parts and the Sweethearts and all of those different things in there until we get them counted. me arranging it so it looks all nice and neat. It's some ribbons that comes in that tray as well, or malleables. And now I'm going to go ahead and put that tray off to the side until we get it counted. That's me putting our general lap tray on the table. And I like to do my roll towel with 2 towels. You're going to see me grab another one here. And to me, I learned to make a tight roll towel. You tuck those 2 corners in and you squeeze and roll, squeeze and roll, squeeze and roll, squeeze, roll, 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 roll. Get it how you want it. I'm going to adjust that so I can have more room on the table. Sorry. Now I am pulling the instruments out on the stringer. This case, sometimes I don't do that, but for this reason and recording purposes, I wanted to show you what it would actually look like for a beginner, because sometimes it is hard to find your instruments in the trays. And as you can see, it's a lot of instruments, so ours definitely come with 2 stringers, and sometimes they fall down, which is another pet peeve of mine. So I'm just straightening them out and getting them together. Now you're going to see me taking those towel clips off, because we don't normally put those in anybody's body, which is self-explanatory. Straighten out all of the little mosquitoes, and I am going to do a separate video later on the different instruments that come in both of those trays, just so you can get an idea of what we use and what it's for. And this is an important step to me, putting the instruments where they go, because it makes counting fly by. And I'll do a separate video on how we counted this and how fast we actually do the counting in trauma. So this is me just getting this tray together, making it look all pretty and neat, getting those pickups and aligning them how I want to, getting that pull suction together, pulling my glove down. Y'all, I hate when my gloves roll up. It's like my wrists are so small, but my fingers are so long, so I wear a size 7. Not too much, because I know this kind of big for a woman, but it is what it is. And now I'm just aligning different things inside of the tray, and you'll see that at the end of the video about how it came out, pulling out the rest of those pickups and knife handles, pulling down those gloves again. Here we go. Okay, so this is me just taking the paper off the bovie, so it's all ready to go. I leave my bovie tip up, so when I'm counting, the nurse can see it if I'm not actually being the nurse at the time. So I'm going to show y'all how I do my silk ties in another video. So that's me loading a blade. Do not load a blade like that. You are supposed to use a needle holder, preferably, or some type of instrument. I've been doing this a long time. Don't try that at home. So this is the end of my setup. Beautiful, beautiful. So this can obviously be condensed down. I left room right there. That's why I was showing you for my bookie or book Walter. Those are those instruments and pickups that I was straightening out on the table, and the instruments that are on the rack are the ones that we actually use, or the pickups. And yeah, that's it.